I'm just deciding that I'm gonna open up and share my process with y'all. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share my process because I don't even think I know any other way to do it. And I'm realizing that when you share, it allows other people to just have more insight on their situation and allow them to feel validated with what they're going through and to know that you're not the only one going through this. I'm learning to take my masks off, not only with myself, but with society, and manifesting being an entrepreneur that is flow based and authentic. This is what it entails. I feel like it means that your image is you. It's not every single day you're going to be looking like a supermodel, and it doesn't mean every day you're going to be looking like you just woke up out and rolled out of bed, but like you're going to show up. And I think that's what matters most, is that life is just truly about being a person of your word and doing what you say you're going to do. So here I am doing the things. One of the things that I'm realizing about myself is that I used to hate the process. And now I feel like I'm being led to share the process and to be present and conscious with the process, because I'm meant to go inside of the process and break it apart and experience it in ways that allow me to share it with people so that they can see the process for more than what it is. You know, it's like when there's that image of the iceberg and they show the success, but you didn't see all the hard work that went into it. And whether we realize it or not, is we enjoy watching other people's processes, but we don't always enjoy our own process. And that's where I was at for a very long time. I hated the process. I was like, what's the action? How do we just get to the end? And when you're just trying to skip to the end, you're not even enjoying the process. You're not enjoying it. And you don't even learn how to enjoy it. And somebody who, I try not to give off the dark energy, but inside I really have a lot of that dark energy. But on the outside I have a lot of light energy because I'm ruled by the sun. And so balancing that, and this is also something that I'm coming to realization as I speak, balancing that has been challenging. And I feel like I've been depressed for a very long time, and I haven't been depressed recently, but like it's like you can feel that dip of energy when you're elevating to an upper limit, and you were somebody that really had depression and anxiety as a baseline. It's like when you elevate, it dips back down. And it's not to say that your lows are low. Your lows are actually like higher, but it's like it still dips down because that was what your baseline was. And it's like, oop, this high is a little too high. Let me recalibrate. And then you're just like sad, and you're like, why am I sad? And it's like, the only reason you're sad is because your body is trying to figure out how to find a balance, because you've done increased your upper limit, your limit for joy and happiness and excitement. And if those things hadn't been feeling safe for a long time, now you're doing too much. You're doing too much too quick. And so that was what I think was happening with me, where I had to really sit down with myself and pinpoint where I've been, where I am, and where I want to go. And I'm realizing that in this journey of ebbs and flows and ups and downs, is that once you elevate your consciousness and your awareness, you're going to have to dip back down to the parts of yourself that are still in that low vibrational and bring it up, and then it just kind of keeps going, and you just kind of keep elevating that way. And it's not to say that like you're never going to feel sad or whatever again, but it's your baseline doesn't end up being in that energy for such long periods of times. You're able to just be like, oh, okay, this is why I'm feeling this way, and bring it back up. Versus before, I would just dwell in that. Like, what was it? I think the last 2 days have just been me fighting my sadness or fighting this energy. And I'm realizing that I should have just like allowed it to pass. Like, we always are trying to fight ourselves, and it's like, no, you feel this way for a reason. Like, just sit with it. And like, I think I slept and woke up at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I journaled, and then I cried, and I went to sleep. And I woke up and I feel so much better. And I was like, wow, I just had to sit with it. Who would have thought, you know? So I'm being aligned with more and more of the things that I've been manifesting for myself. And one of the things I am proud of is that, and please let me know if you resonate with this, is when you're on this journey, there's so many parts of yourself, especially like I'm multifaceted. So there's so many parts of myself that I'm like, do I share this? Do I hold this back? Do I say this? Is this too far fetched? I don't know. I might sound crazy. And then it's like you look at your For You page, because you know our For You page is representative of what our algorithm is subconsciously, right? So you look at your For You page and you're like, every single person on your page is doing what it is that is a reflection of you. So if you see people that are talking about like changing their life, elevation, whatever their spiritual practice is, manifestation, whatever, romance, career, finances, abundance, it's like, why do you still feel unsafe to talk about those things? I saw somebody post that if you feel like you're still procrastinating or holding yourself back, it's probably because you had a persecution wound in another life. And I was like, damn, you know, maybe I still haven't sat with my persecution wounds yet. Because it's like I've been fearful to talk about my beliefs or my practices, especially being a Jamaican background and everything is obia and dopey. And like, you don't want to say anything too out the way, you know. So I think I'm still realizing that I'm learning to accept my beliefs, and I'm learning to accept my practices, and I'm learning to be okay if people aren't okay with them, even though it's literally just like regular life that people have just taken their lack of information and ignorance and placed it as a layer of protection over it. So if this is you, don't let what other people are fearful of stop you from doing what has allowed you to elevate and ascend, especially in your consciousness. The only way for us to actually get anywhere in life is by elevating the levels of consciousness that are within us and the things in this life that we are aware to. If we're not increasing our level of awareness or consciousness, then we're not going anywhere. We're just actually repeating cycles. And people might not like how it sounds. It might sound new age. It might sound questionable. Let it sound how it sounds. Google is very much in abundance. ChatGPT is such a great tool. And a lot of times people are just too ignorant and stuck in their own ways to venture out for themselves, but will judge and condemn you just because you're not fitting the mold that they expect you to fit. Long story short, this was kind of like all over the place, but hopefully you got something from it. As I learn, I pass it on to you so you can learn too. Sharing more of my processes, sharing more vulnerability, and more insights into the ways that my journey has evolved, and hopefully we can evolve together.